Okay, people, so I am here with Eric Greif. We have just covered a section on the man, the myth, the legend himself, and we are now going to move on to a little band that a few people might have heard of called Death. Have you heard of them, Eric? Death?
Angel?
Eric Shabliner?
Yep, I met him. Charles. I was in charge.
No, but joking aside, Death, Chuck Schuldiner. Let's get on to the questions. Let's get through these, Eric. We've got the mower out and the questions are grass. So let's do this. Okay. The first question I want to put to you: as time passes and more people become fans of Death, as it will happen, they're not going to get the chance to see Death live. Now, in that context, you're going to have a lot of frustrated fans. So what would you say to a fan that wants to show their support of a band that they can't see live, but they want to do their bit? Like, how would they go about doing it?
Well, it's funny you should ask that in particular, because the fact that I'm dealing on a daily level, on a daily basis with the career of someone who's not alive, after a while, because I'm surrounded by Chuck photos, Chuck music, Chuck everything, it does begin to get to me a little, because the one thing I'm unable to produce for people is the man himself. And that gets a little emotional for me, because I wish I could just pull out a bag or a suitcase and then out will pop my friend.
I think you should make Chuck masks and be like,
and say, hey,
dude, hey, dude.
It is the one thing that I can't do. I can't produce him. I can't bring him out.
But that is a frustration, Eric. I mean, what would you say to a fan? What would you say? Would you just say, just keep on listening, keep on loving, and that's it? That's enough,
Well, look, it is true that with a career that is shoehorned, like, between 7 records, that it's not going to be that there's going to be some groundbreaking things that are going to fall out of the sky and an endless supply of Chuck stuff. But luckily, as we agreed with Relapse, we do have enough things out there at the moment, not the least of which is the unfinished Control Denied record,
which we will get to in a minute, that
we do for the fans. Yes, I'm not going to talk about it yet. But we do have stuff that we can offer. But I look at it not as some sort of limited cottage industry, but as an ongoing organic thing that involves the fans themselves creating things out of the blue. And that's the reason that we endorse Death cover acts, Death tribute acts, Death tribute shows. I don't mean for monetary gain, because we're not making anything from any of that. Nor would we want to.
The thing is, though, credit to
creative things. It's like, how did Death impact on you, James Copper, and what did you do about it because of his influence on your life? And then you reciprocated by playing guitar or doing, starting a band or starting Death in HD or whatever. And
so
if you magnify it, thousands and thousands of folks who've written to us and said that they were touched by Chuck, I mean, I can't overblow it or make it any, I don't know, I can't exagerate it when a doctor writes and says, you know what, if it wasn't for Chuck Schuldiner, I would have never become a brain surgeon, because I would have never been interested in brain cancer. And on that kind of stuff, it's like, holy crap, what do you do when you hear that other than think you're in the right business?
So for you, it's not so much about what you can tell other people to do. It's more how it makes them feel. However they feel they want to react is the way they should do. Like, there's no do this, do that. It's just react how you.
There's no rules. I mean, I'm essentially sort of running the Death organization, so to speak, consulting with the Schuldiners, but we don't have like a staff of funded by corporate. We just sort of hey, yeah, that's a great idea. People write to me. I accept a lot of the Facebook fan friend requests, and I interact with people on Facebook chat. I'm not like this figure who is like unreachable. People can actually get to me and say, I'm a big fan and blah blah blah, and I give them my 2 cents and I give them my time, and if something comes about from that, then that's wonderful. And that's exactly the way it is with Beth, and it was that way with Jane until she's recently sort of retired from that constant interaction with the deaf people. And look, the majority of the letters and the support that we're getting now is from people who say things like, I was born the year that Human came out, and that kind of thing. And of course I'm like, whoa. Because fan base, it's a whole new generation of people that are discovering death posthumously. Like, I don't mean they're dead. I mean after Chuck's death. And that is amazing to me.
Yeah, I mean, I do find the concept quite incredible of, the idea that like a 10-year-old kid can love the band Death. That's crazy to me. But it's also pretty cool because
how can I in the position that I'm in duplicate or replicate the thrill of having a living band who's creating new records and stuff? I can't do that. So it's the next best thing. We have to just make everything fresh, give people what we can. We can't put it all out on one day, so it isn't even a case of being strategic. We're working literally day and night to put together these reissues and make them at the highest standard possible. These young fans feel as if it's a new, fresh band that they are discovering. Even though, my friends, it isn't. It's a band that ceased to exist December 13th, 2001, when Chuck passed away.
Eric's cruel words.
I know, but it is reality. And
it is.
We are dealing in reality. I mean, I get a lot of mail from people who literally think that Chuck is some sort of metal messiah who flies over the planet. And
well, here's the thing. We'll get to a lot of all of these other points that you want to talk about in a little bit. I mean, we're still talking about death for now. So let's actually get through these questions, Eric.
Sorry.
Because I feel like, yeah, I think you should be. I'll let it slide. Yeah, okay. But
okay.
Do you know who you're talking to? No, but my next question is kind of on a slightly anal point in terms of not actual anal, but anally.
Sorry, mate. It's late for both of us.
but the point of maintaining a certain standard and offering a certain quality. So the next question is, was any death captured on sort of actual film so that it could be potentially blown up to resolutions that people have come to know today with high def, Blu-ray? Is there any chance of seeing death like that?
Why, James, that's very interesting for you to ask me. As I read that, I don't actually have an answer sheet. Well, yes, and those death aficionados around the world know, of course, that there were some live footage, including something that Chuck commissioned himself, which was a recording of a concert in Tokyo.
And this was shot on film. Sort of.
Well, film in VHS or a 3/4 inch videotape or whatever. But yeah, will that see the light of day is the big question. Yes, it will. A German company who have yet to account or pay me as of today.
Just to pause you slightly there, Eric. The next question is literally that. So what I was going to say is, I knew about this live in Japan. So the question is, a Death Live in Japan 1995 DVD was set to be released, but it was blocked
by me.
And now, with the world, what happened there? What was it?
Look, I got a text message as I was standing in a bar from someone from Relapse Records, who is our label, saying, "Do you know anything about this? It's being released." a German company, American distributor. It's set to hit the stores in the latter part of November, and it's going to be out in December. And of course, I'm the guy who's supposed to know everything there is about the intellectual property of Chuck. So I went ballistic. So of course, immediately I started threatening the companies, and they pulled it.
Is this arguably potentially the best death could be represented on film? Is this what we're talking about, or?
Oh no. Well, look. From an aesthetic viewpoint, yeah, well, maybe because it's multi-camera, it's not perfect. It's kind of dark. It's kind of grainy.
I mean, some of it is on YouTube where you kind of think.
Well, it's not there now. It shouldn't be because I keep pulling it every time someone puts something up. So you'll see a little thing that says. This has been removed upon the request of Eric Greif Esquire.
But like all things that we see on there. But
we're gonna put it out. That's the whole thing. We don't want it out there unless it's the best quality possible.
This is it,
so
yeah.
We're going to be putting it out, and we'll make sure that maybe we have an updated interview with Gene Hoglan on there, or you know, we're just going to look. Nobody has the right to just put it out there, and this company had no right. They didn't have a synchronization license. They had no copyright permission. They were just going to boot it.
Was this going to be
if you could believe the insanity of a company thinking that they could just exploit the band and the Schuldiner family by putting it out without thinking anyone would notice.
So
I mean, it's shocking to me.
They were going for unlicensed monetary gain.
Oh yeah. This had nothing whatsoever to do with the license holders of Chuck's intellectual property.
I mean, like I say, I have.
It was a cat's crab ripoff.
Yeah, I mean, like I say, I have caught some of the. I don't know if it's the proper footage, but one thing I noticed was like the visuals weren't quite there because I guess whoever uploaded it, but it was like, wait a minute, this has got really good sound.
No, it's right off the board. It sounds phenomenal. It's just it's a little bit dark, and between songs, it's hard to see, and because Chuck wasn't the most animated showman, especially between songs. There's a lot of dead air and things like that. But we didn't have a chance. We haven't edited it. We haven't done anything. We have the original tapes, which Chuck had in his stuff when he died, and we've since transported that over to Relapse. And at some point, we're going to be putting it out. I mean, but at some point, there's going to be a Chuck bio. At some point, there's going to be a release of the death actual video, my footage, like for instance I've got like an hour or so of footage of the making of Lack of Comprehension. That's all going to see the light of day, but I mean, I'm only one guy. Relapse doesn't have 500 employees. There's just so much that we can do. The first reissue of a Death album only came out, what is it now, April, 2 months ago. So give us a break. We'll make sure that it's coming out there, but we'll make sure it's not some hideous bootleg. And that goes for whatever else we have in the can.
You kind of just hinted at a point of a question that I forgot to ask. The rare footage that you have, I promised the fans I would throw some names in there, but this is also a question from me that I'm interested in, as well as a guy called Cesar Gutierrez. He wanted to know, as well as seeing the rare footage, is there anything from the studio? Have we got Chuck, whoever, recording in the studio? Is there anything like this?
Well, like an unfinished album, that kind of thing.
No, like visual footage of just Chuck recording guitar or someone doing drums, or this is anything like that exist?
Let me give you some kind of idea. We transported boxes and boxes and boxes of material to Relapse, and even though we thought we had everything possible, that is DVDs, DATs, video, all kinds of stuff, we only just found a box of 80 assorted DATs and cassettes